Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, testing. Okay, let's share my stream. Let's go here. Share, and we are in good shape. Okay. All right, guys, I'll be with you in a second. Okay. Wait, hold on. Hey guys, okay, let me see if you guys are seeing me. If you guys are hearing me, give me a yes in the chat room. Let me know if you're seeing the screen. I gotta go see if I can pull up my own stream over here right now. Okay, looks like I am live. I am live. Okay, cool. All right, very good. Let me just minimize this. Oops. Okay. Awesome. Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. Good morning. Hope everybody's enjoying everything. We're going to give it a few minutes to just let everybody come in to the room. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the new setup that we have, the Simple Scalper 2.2. Talk to you about structures. Today is going to be a little bit of a quiet day for the first half hour because we have ISM services coming up. ISM services is a very, very important report that comes out at 10. So we're just going to, give it a wide berth. Anything that I'm going to be trading in the first half hour is going to be with micro contracts, just because, we're not going to be taking any particular risk right now on anything that we're doing. I will, however, look at the signals from the large contract, just because the rule of thumb that we always do is the signals are generated off the large contract, which is the YM, ES, NQ, and GC, because those are the true contracts. As a matter of fact, we have a buy signal that actually, that would have worked at around 850. We had a switch over here from sell to buy. You see it becomes neon and luminous. It goes from neon red to neon green over here. The next signal after that becomes a good trade signal for us. This would have been a very good trade, but this was early. Now it's just a simply secondary follow-on. We also really try not to trade in front of the open, because the open is always very, very wonky. Although having said this, I got nothing much to do over here, so I'm looking here at the where the signals are. If I was going to do anything of just for fun, nothing, no setup, I would short on the small side in the. I'm just going to short the Dow just for shits and giggles, because one of the things that I like to play around with when I'm not doing my pure setup is to trade the reversal setup intra move. This actually would have been a much better setup over here at 906 instead of trying to trade it all the way down here. So it's probably not going to work that well. But the whole idea is if you're in a strong buy trend and suddenly you get like a red sell signal, that kind of could be an early trade to reversal, and it's worth a small shot. It's not, however, at all the type of a trade that I want to do. The type of trade that I really want to do is much more structured, and that's the trades that we're all going to be doing as the day progresses. Once the news is out of the way and we have some directionality. Let me say hi to everybody. How's everybody doing? The pink again, light green. Okay, I'm going to explain all of that. Yes, I'm going to explain all of it right now. Bear with me a second here. I want to see something. Okay. All right, everybody's coming in. I just want everybody to come into the room. I'm going to get into an explanation in about 5-10 minutes. Meantime, post up to me where you guys are coming at me from. What part of the world you're at? What time of the day it is for you? And generally, the thing I'm kind of interested in is, when do you day trade U.S. stock index futures? Like, what is your generally regular time of day when you like to day trade? because it's a conversation we had yesterday in my coaching. I think it's an interesting time. It's an interesting thing to explore. Post it like in GMT hours if you can, or if you know, or just post it to me if you tell me I'm in Australia. I traded from this time to this time, and I'll be able to translate it. Because I'm just curious, what is it that you guys, when is it that you guys trade? Post it up in the room. So okay, now I got to take out my glasses. All right, let me go in here for a second. All right, here we go. So we have Frank out of Naples. I mean, obviously you're on the U.S. time. Frank, when do you usually trade the Birmingham, Alabama? We have a lot of U.S. traders here. UK. So Karen, I'm sure Karen probably trades it in the afternoon for her. So 8:30 to 9:30. That's interesting. You traded 8:30, 9:30 pre-open. Are you trading news, Frank? Is that what you're doing? So just for entertainment purposes, I'm going to put this all in New York hours. There are, I think, 3 really distinct tradable times in the U.S. indices that are the highest probability indices. Let me see if I can do this here. Okay, it would be 6 o'clock. This is all New York hours. 6 to 8 o'clock New York. That's the first I think interesting session. Then the next session would be 10 o'clock. This is, I think, going to surprise a lot of people. 10 o'clock to 12 noon. And then the final session, again, and I'm going to do this in 24-hour time frame, 1300 hours, which is 1 o'clock to 1500 hours, which is 3 o'clock. So let's kind of discuss why I particularly pick those times as the most productive. Now, let me explain what I mean about most productive from our perspective is one where we have the greatest possibility of continuity, right? Hang on a second. I got a possible. Do I have a signal in the NASDAQ here? Oh, yeah, interesting. Okay, so let's play this. Okay, now I have a bullshit trade going on the YM, but let me sort of set you up on the setup that we've been we continue to be doing in our room. I did a variation of this yesterday, but I want to do a much more thought out version of this setup. So we had a sell regime. It switched to a buy regime, right? We had a signal for us to a buy regime. Our setup now is to get prepared for a buy signal. So we're looking for the next green candle, which means it's going to come back below the 8 SMA and come back above it. If it's doing that, we're going to be looking for that next green candle that will signal to us a wave higher. Now we have a buy wave, and we're looking for that wave higher. So I'm actually going to set myself up into a buy structure. I don't want to do this on the large contract because I said we have news and everything else. So I'm going to try and do this on the small contract right over here. But it'll take it may take a couple of minutes to find it. In the meantime, let me explain to you what I mean about like sort of the 6 to 8 time frame. And NASDAQ is as good as any to kind of show it to you. When you're looking at my charts over here, right? And I'm just going to compress them a little bit. And basically from around 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock. What we're looking for is some modicum of continuity, right? Now at 6 o'clock here, granted, there's a lot of chop today. We had buy signal, which is then, so in this particular case, you have a buy signal here. I think took this trade. You get long here at 86. You have a stop at about 76, right? So I actually got long on this candle here, but if you're trading with a 10-point stop, 5-point target, you got long here at 87 or 86. The stop would be 76 to just survive the stop, and then you make your money at 91. A much more intelligent way, I actually think, with NASDAQ, you need to trade it with a 10 target, 20 stop. So you would be at 87 entry, 97 target, 67 stop. You easily would have survived it. So you have a small push higher, small wave higher. Now you have a sell regime over here, and your setup is the next red candle after the sell regime signal. So you'd be short here, same thing, 10 target, 20 stop. So you are short here at 89. Stop would be 09, right? And target would be 79. You're done. Boom, boom, boom. Now this is, remember, watch the time frame, because this is a 6 to 8 o'clock time frame. The next flip is over here at 7:25, and the next signal is over here. So now you're 3 for 3. You're basically doing great. Now it's 8 o'clock. You're pretty much done, because from 8 to 9:30 there's news, right? So that's already hugely volatile time frame. Then you have 9:30, you have the open. You have the the open of trade, and again, not an optimal time to trade. And then here's the irony of the whole thing. So the first half hour, everybody loves to trade the first half hour because they think that that's really a great time to participate. But there's actually a lot of two-way flow, and the true direction usually establishes itself at 10 o'clock forward for two reasons. One, because a lot of times there is a very seminal piece of news at 10 o'clock. Usually, like today, there's going to be ISM services that's going to perhaps impact sentiment and direction for for at least a couple of hours going forward. So that's one thing. But the other thing, which is really, really more important, from 10 to noon is the European close, and all the European institutions have their market on close, or they're trying to close out their books, their positions. And there's like a lot of there's a lot of closing price action that happens. That tends to have some continuity behind it, because what creates continuity? Volume. The more volume you have, the more continuity you'll have when one way or the other. So you have that generally optimal slice of time, 10 to 12, when you want to trade. When you want to trade, and then finally, and this is really the most interesting aspect of the stock market. Tom Sosnoff, who many of you may know from Tasty Trade, Tasty Live, it's a good friend of mine and an old friend of mine. I've known him for years. Now, they run obviously an option shop, so they do a huge amount of option analysis. But there was a study they did, which I thought was fascinating, which was what happens in the last hour of trade. This was a zero DTE option. I think it was a zero DTE study. In the last hour of trade, what's the probability of the stock market going up versus the probability of stock market going up? Or I think the idea was, if the market is down at 1 o'clock, what's the probability of it continuing to go down? And this is 1 o'clock New York. And if the market starts to go up at 1 o'clock, what's the probability of it rising from 1 o'clock forward? And the skew was ridiculous. It was an 80% up skew, meaning that if the market keeps is up, the probability of it rising is 4 times as large as it's falling. And we've all seen this. We've seen this on strong days when the markets continue to rally into the close. We've seen it on weekdays when the markets reverse and rally to flat. That behavior pattern, I'm sure, will not last forever, but it's very much dominant now, and that creates just easiest setups for us, because remember, all we need to do is just see continuity. We just want to see we don't want to see chop. So that 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock continuity move is something we want to catch, and those are the 3 time zones or time frames that I think are optimal for trading the U.S. indices. I wonder what you guys think. Let me know. Shadow Dancer says, I usually trade until noon. Oops, I gotta move my, bear with me guys, I gotta move my camera here. No, that's not what I want. I want to do this. Sorry, I'm moving my camera all around here. Okay. It's hard for me to read. That's why I was, okay, I usually trade until noon, but if I get 2 good trades by 11 a.m., I'm done for the day. I don't trade half hour at least. If not, I'll wait. Okay, opening range. So opening range to me is really the 9:30 to 10 o'clock range, right? If I have time, I will come back for the power hour. What do you consider power hour, Shadow Dancer? Give me the actual New York time in the power hour. Use 24-hour time if you can. I wonder if I can do this. Sorry, nah, I can't get this done. I'm trying to. My camera is all off. So Guys, forgive me for a second. I just got to move my camera all around. It's totally, there we go. Okay. Trying to get it straight up. Okay. Anyways, we have a 9:30 market hard, hard open right now, meaning that it's really rallying. Why can't I get this done? Oh, because I'm on the wrong page. Okay. Okay, let's go over here. Auto fit. Let's look at what the charts are doing for us. Did I get clipped on my thing? Oh, look at this. Look at this. We actually made money on our YM because it finally dove down. That was just a nonsense trade, a tiny little trade over here, from here to here. I made a full circle to the downside, but the Dow has been the weakest in the morning. Another thing I like to do, and this is very very useful as just kind of a trick. Who is the strongest? Who is the weakest? And then if I have strongest, your best sell signal, and the weakest tends to work pretty well as a structure. All right, let's run this through. Let's see what's going on here. We got no signals here, no signals here. Although the S&P is kind of coming down a little bit on the sell zone. Do I want to fool around with this? Too late. I'm not gonna chase this trade. Too late. We'll let that go. What I was going to say is, remember, like, if the trend is up, but you get that little red candle, it's sometimes fun to just take that first trade as it's kind of like possibly a breakdown trade. This is all just opening squaring. Look at this. They ran it all the way pre-market, only to just drop it on the market open. Now we get to see what they really want to do, and we'll give it a few minutes. The key thing is none of them are really know what they want to do until they see the ISM services today, especially where's the employment, where's the prices paid. The basic consensus now is that the economy is starting to really slow down, but ISM services is going to be a big tell. It tends to be a very good prognosticator of the overall NFPs. By the way, oh, cool. I meant to tell you, I convinced Kathy to trade NFPs with us this Friday. So we're going to do hardcore. I'm going to be in Jersey. I'm in Jersey right now. I'll be in Jersey on Friday, 8:30. Balls out. I'm going to trade 8:30, 10:30, maybe even 11 o'clock. We'll go hardcore off the NFPs. There should be a lot of price action. So she's going to trade FX for the first half hour to 45 minutes. I may do some reactive trades in the equities, and then we're going to trade the equities post open as far as action goes. So I have no signals anywhere. Gold has kind of been dead, really. Now you know what? You guys want to play around with gold? Let me see what gold is doing. I'm looking to see if gold. We have a red sell signal here, and if I get a green candle, just for shits and giggles, I want to trade gold to the upside. But so far, I don't have anything going on here, so it's not a trade. I just get to scratch my contrarian itch, for the time being. Oh, so it's interesting. You see this, by the way. Now we're getting a buy signal. Now it's kind of this is NASDAQ, right? Remember I said to you we want to trade a possible continuity trade in NASDAQ if we get the buy signals. So far, it's not showing. But if this turns into a buy, we'll trade it. Let me just flip through here over here on ES, YM. No trades over here. And Q, GC. All right, you know what? Again, I'm just fooling around. I want to talk to you a lot more about tilting also today. Let me see what time is it. 10 seconds. I'm just just a bullshit trade. I have nothing to do, so we're just fooling around, trying to stay to trend. Basically, we gold, turned buy, but this is the first red signal off the buy move. So I'm trying to see if there's a little bit of a reversal in gold. I'm taking tiny little trades here, just as I said, for shits and giggles. One thing I wanted to do, by the way, what I actually I meant to do this. I think gold these days is such a herky-jerky trade that it should be a 7-15 trade, meaning that it's kind of like it's either goes your way for 7 or it's just going to retrace, up your butt. And I don't want to be around, for that to happen. Right? I actually did a 10-20 trade, which I did not mean to do. Let me just go into the DOM. Let's see if I can adjust this up. Okay, let me see if this moves up. All right, I'm just going to leave it as a tighter bite limit. But you see how, like, when I notice this a lot about gold, that it dumps down quickly. Let me see if it dumps down so quickly sometimes that, let me see if this gets me done. Almost. Was it 61.1? That's 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I think I'm at the right thing at 3, right? I want it to be at 7. Let me see. My point being is that if NASDAQ is one that needs to be traded wide, and let's go, by the way, let's take a look at NASDAQ NASDAQ has shown no buy signals. Gold actually kind of needs to be traded wide, because with gold, you're either right or you're out. With NASDAQ, you actually need a lot of breathing space because it's going to retrace and then come back against you quite a lot. I'm noticing that about gold a lot. Oh, no, I didn't get done on gold. Still putzing around on gold. All right, I'm gonna have to put my glasses on and say goodbye to my vanity. Where's my DOM? So I'm in at 61.1. It should be 4, not 3. 4. I should have been at 4. And then I should be at 6 right over here. Okay. So that's the proper. So with gold, I want to trade 7 tick target, 15 tick stop, very, very tight. So in other words, I'm right or I'm out. With NASDAQ, I actually want to give myself more room to trade. S&P is a 6 tick target, 12 tick stop. Dow is a 15 tick target, 30 tick stop. Nice, nice and clean. All right, nothing going on over here. Oh, and I'm done. See, and that's what I mean about the kind of just get it done. Because here's the thing: you see how gold is so thin these days. I notice it's very, very thin on the ladder, meaning that there's 4 or 5, it drops through 4 or 5 levels and pops right back up. And so you need to just take advantage of the way it's trading. In terms of just quick profit, and then just get out, move on your way. All right, so 2 for 2, just putzing around. No real trades right now because we're really going to be in a holding pattern until God, this is driving me nuts. It's going to drive me nuts. In a holding pattern until hang on a second, guys. I'm sorry for doing this with you guys live, but I'm trying to move my camera into the right position, and I'm in Jersey. Let me see if I could do it this way, because this will be. It's just the reason why I'm trying to move it is I can't see your comments well. So forgive me for doing this. I think this might be better as an angle. Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Sorry. Now I'm out of frame. Okay. Okay, so now you can see me on camera, but most importantly, I can see your comments, and that makes it a lot easier for me to read them. Do I still trade with prop firms? Yeah, I'm trading right now with Apex. As a matter of fact, hang on a second. Let me find it. Apex just extended their discounts, so I'm just going to try to see if I can find it. Hang on a second, just 1 second. I'm going to get the links for you guys. Here we go. They're actually 90% off still. Yeah, it is, Ozep. It's a tiny profit because I'm not really this. Let's talk about winning. Okay, let's talk about winning mentality, what you should be doing, and other stuff. Um, I'm not trading for profit right now. I'm trading for just fun. Why am I not trading for profit? Because right now is a dumb time to trade because we are right in front of news. Right? I told you that there's no real great setups right now because every setup is a fake out. Right? So right now I'm just having fun, taking small setups, staying within my structure, staying true to like what I think is is the right stops and targets for each thing, experimenting, having a good time. Okay, so this is where it's a really, really important point. This is where amateurs separate themselves from professionals. Amateurs try to make profit on every trade, or think that the only thing that you should be doing in the market is trying to make profit. That's not what trading is all about. It's not like I mean, I don't think it's even true in any real business. I mean, in every restaurant, let's say you run a restaurant, you're never just trying to make profit. You're always trying to come up with a new dish, new way to serve people, new way to greet people, new menu. You're always experimenting with things that are non-profitable to make more profit down the road. Okay, so this is kind of like that. Right now, we got no real trades. I know people want to see my setups. They want to see my indicator in use. So I'm just putting my indicator in use in non-traditional setups just to give people ideas. But I'm not an idiot. I don't want to be risking $150, $200 on a gamble. I want to be making those trades on true setups, right? So that's why we're doing micro contracts. Micro contracts are an amazingly useful tool because they allow you to participate in the market without having lots and lots of bad consequences. Is that clear? Yeah. Okay. So that's what we're doing as far as that. Stops and targets. Okay, I'm gonna put them for you in there. Okay, let's do. I'm gonna do NQ. I'm gonna do this all in ticks so that there's no confusion. So NQ is going to be 40 TP, 80 SL. Okay. Then ES will be 6 TP, 12 SL. Then YM will be 15 TP, 30 SL. And then gold, GC, will be 7 TP, 15 SL. All right. So whoever was asking me, those are stops and targets for everybody to look at. All right, let me go back to the charts here. All right, you guys can see me now on screen, right? I look okay. Thank you. Now I can actually see your comments. It just makes my life a lot easier. Okay, let's cycle through this. We got YM. Interesting. YM is sending us a possible sell switch signal. We have to see. ES is sending us the same thing, a possible sell switch signal if it comes back down, because we had a lot of sell-offs here, and then we've had the big sort of counter trend move here. Well, we'll see how that plays out. 9:45, so we still got 15 minutes, to the news event. So we're going to stay quiet. Gold is just putzing around. We took that small little continuity trade. Now there's like a little bit of reversal trade. Gold has been a very, very choppy trade. And interestingly, so we talked about the best continuity times, which is 6 to 8, 10 to 12, 1300 to 1500. As far as like, this is the best times to trade my setup because it has the greatest continuity. And just, let's review my setup as far as we go. My setup in the classic way that I want to trade it is the following. I have switch signal. It's also going to give me the alarm. It's going to give me like a little pop-up alarm telling me, hey, there's a switch going on. So it'll say switch sell GC. That means I'm now in a sell regime. My trade then is going to be the next red signal, which is over here. I want to take that short. So I'm not taking it on this signal. I'm taking it on the next one. So as you can see, gold very, very difficult today. It would stop me out. It's just it doesn't work. What do I do when it stops me out on the trade, right? So if I'm short here and I'm going to be 15 to the target, I think, what is that? 61.3, 62.8. I get stopped out. Now this is not for the faint of heart, and you have to kind of believe that you're able. Let me just see if there's anything moving here. Do we have news on? Did something come out here? Let me see if I'm going to put news on my other screen just for a second. I thought there was nothing at 9:45. I wonder it's just movement. S&P services final just came out. Okay, so that's the services really doesn't have much of an impact. It's 54 against 54. The real big question is going to be the ISM that's going to come out a little bit later. So we're going to watch that in a bit. I'm late on this. Okay, I'm not chasing it. I was gonna try to buy this NASDAQ. Okay, YM switch sell. Let me see what's going on over here. Okay. So what I was telling you is the resolution trade. You get stopped out, you're looking for the next green candle to go the other way. Once you get stopped out, you're looking for the next confirmation candle to go the other way. You would have just simply literally flipped the trade and resolved it at a scratch over here on gold. So gold kind of flipped around. I guess it was mildly positive to mildly negative view. The only thing we have right now that's sort of a legitimate setup, the Dow. It has a sell regime signal. We're going to be looking for the next red candle down. If that happens, then we'll take the short trade on that. We'll take a small short trade because we're still in front of news. That means that it can be totally flipped around. On the YM, we have nothing. Excuse me. On the ES, which is we have nothing. NASDAQ gave us would have given us a nice clean trade over here, but I was just late at executing it. I didn't have time. I didn't set myself up properly. The whole point of having a pre-signal and a signal is that you can set yourself up properly, but I'm talking too much and flipping around. I would have been long here, 34, so that would have been a nice, clean trade here, but I don't have it right now. So right now, the only thing I have in play is the YM. I'm going to watch that. For the next 10 minutes, I have nothing else to do but to, see if YM is going to convert into a sell signal for me. And if it does, so a sell signal means that I would have to have a red candle after this particular sell signal as a potential trade, and I'll take that red candle. How can you use the super scalper? You can join me at Pass the Prop. Let me send you the link to my coaching. If you want access to the super scalper and trade with me, it's only available through us. It's not available anywhere else. I'm sending you the Pass the Prop idea. What are the regime changes generated from? A change of trend. There's a proprietary sequence of things that need to happen in order to generate that signal. But yeah, it's essentially a change of trend, a mechanism, and it will fail miserably in a totally choppy environment. Nothing is divine, but in a change of like for example, this is a pretty clean downtrend, right, in the Dow. Now, I showed you sort of a more conservative, more conventional way of trading it. Another way of trading is to simply say, hey, whenever I get a change of trend, I'm literally going balls into the trade. I'm going to take this trade. And you can trade it, there's 100 different ways you can trade it positionally. Like one example that we've talked about. So ES now has also a switch sell. Okay, ES has got a switch sell here. And now we're looking for, for a red candle on the ES. And just I'm gonna play around. I'm gonna give you an example of a potential S&P trade that you could take again on the small side. So it ran away. It didn't quite give us the sell signal. I jumped the gun here, so I just sold it into the signal. It's only 31 seconds left. I'm really jumping the gun. Very bad execution. This is the clear. Don't do as I do. Do as I say. I needed this candle to complete. I didn't realize it wasn't completing. Okay, so this candle, this could be a false signal completely that I'm in the trade on. But I'm just staying in it for, it's a small trade, so I don't give a shit. But a more aggressive way is whenever you get a switch of regime, you literally take that signal and you try to trade it. So now I got lucky that this was a signal, and now it's a question of, do I have continuity to to trade it to target here, which would be 6, and I do, and and it works. And so just as Yogi Berra said, I'd rather be lucky than good. We got lucky on the sense that this signal stayed true. It could have just easily been a false signal and retrace myself. So the key thing is you want it to complete, the candle to complete, the signal to actually appear and stay true. And then you would take it aggressively to the downside, and you see now, there's much more to it. There's also, you see me trading for sort of small 12 ticks, 10 ticks type of trades. But there are lots of guys in my room who will take the signal and they'll try to milk it for much larger position. Like one way to trade this, there's guys in my room who could trade very well. Who, if you have that kind of personality, you're coming in with a probative trade. Let's say, I don't know, half a 5 micros or one standard. And if it goes your way, you actually add to it and you just press the trade all the way down. And you see, this trade could have turned into like a $500-600 trade if you just plowed right into it as a momentum trade. I'm just not a momentum trader. I don't, it's not part of my personality. And this also goes back, actually, I think, to the idea of, we talked about yesterday about what makes tilt, which is the idea that tilt is a term we borrowed from poker, where the trader basically loses his shit. The trader completely loses control of himself, of his account, and of his trading, which all of us have done 1,000 times over, right? You'd be lying if you said you never did this. But I sort of really deconstructed, what is it that makes us go tilt? And the answer to me is negative surprises you didn't expect. You're supposed to, like, I'll give you an example. Suppose this was a sell signal and I hit the buy button, right? I hit the buy button. So the trade was correct. I would have made money, but instead I lost money because I hit the buy button and I got stopped out, right? That is a classic tilt trigger. It's a negative surprise that you did not expect. Now, that's a sort of a common surprise, but there's other things like, your spouse comes into the room and asks you a question while you're about to do a trade and you lose concentration. Your child is screaming. Your pet is barking. You spilled coffee on your computer, whatever. There's 1,000 negative triggers, and those triggers take you out of focus. And it's very important to, before you start trading, to think through every negative scenario. What we as traders we're always thinking, oh, I'm going to make so much money with this particular strategy. I can't wait to trade today because this setup worked so well yesterday. I'm going to do 10 trades and make $1,000 in 1 hour, because that's what I'm visualizing only positive things, right? Ironically enough, it's the stupidest thing in the world to do. Visualizing positive things in trading helps you not a bit. It only perhaps helps you in the ability to take trades if you need to have faith in your setup. But generally, what it does is it creates this whole field of unreality. Whereas the real problem in trading is not all the positive things. When things work as designed, they just work automatically. Like this trade worked automatically. It was a given that the market was going to fall and make money. The art of trading is actually anticipating all the negative things. And it's a very good exercise to every day say to yourself, every possible thing can go wrong. What can go wrong? My computer goes down. I hit the wrong button. I hit the wrong product. I meant to sell the small contract and I sold the big contract. And now it's 10 times the size of my loss than there is. By the way, just to give you a classic, the secondary trade here. This is, the signal right away, or the signal on the next red candle, which would be right here. I got 5 minutes to go. I'm literally going to do a tiny trade here, if this is true, only because it's really stupid to trade in front of the news. But I just want to show you the 1-2 sequence, the sell switch, and then you would normally, in a normal environment when there's no news, you would take this signal as your sell signal, assuming, and this is a big thing, it's got to hold the red. It's got to complete and hold the red. So I'm just going to press the button here to show you the sequence, so you guys learn the sequences, because that's really, live trading is all about you watching me do the sequences, so you kind of absorb it. Okay, I'm showing here. It's a 6-tick target with a 12-tick stop. We'll see if it works out. We're obviously going to have tons of volatility. What time do I have? I have 5 minutes before the ISM. There's going to be a ton of pre-positioning. Maybe somebody's going to come in with a big buy order because they're betting ISM is going to be soft. Maybe we'll get lucky. There'll be a small sell order because they're betting that the ISM is going to be weak. We don't care. We're just taking the position. As a matter of fact, as I'm talking, I was going to take the trade at plus 3 ticks. You know what? Let me go to Dom. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm just going to let it float. It's not, it's there for demonstration purposes, but not a trade you want to do in front of news, but a trade you want to do in any other reasonable time, because that is the reasonable classic setup that I want to do in the structure. Anyways, be that as it may, where was it? I was talking about the idea of negative expectations, right? Negative expectations are the cornerstone of being a good trader, because you're training yourself for all the bad stuff that happens. Because here's the question you then want to train yourself. If this happens, what do I do? Okay, I made a mistake, or this trade did not work. Do I have a repair sequence? Yes, maybe I have a repair sequence. And then you initiate the repair sequence. All right, I'm going to just fucking flatten. I'm going to flatten out on even though it's going to go down, just because I wanted to show you the sequence. There's no need to tempt the bear right now in front of news. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but it's of course, it inevitably, the moment I kill the trade, everybody knows in my room, if I'm exiting early, it's a guaranteed take profit. Anyways, if you guys took the trade, you TP'd on this one, very good. If you didn't take the trade, it's fine. I just wanted to show you the sequence. So you work through this negative process, not just to, like, if this bad thing happens to me. The most important part is, what do I do then? Because then, if you have a plan, the negative sequence can't kill you. You can't go on tilt. You say, okay, I'm just going to step away. Somebody said to me yesterday, what they do, which I think is a good plan, although fortunately I rarely ever run into that sequence, is that they say if they have 3 losing trades in a row, they just stop for the day. Right? That could be your negative sequence plan. It's a good sequence. Another thing we talked about, which I think is really valuable, is, so how much risk per trade should you do? And this is for those of you who are trading prop, but it's also a very good, I think, good rule of thumb for trading, personal account. So in prop, this is a $50,000 Apex account that's got a $2,500 drawdown. That means my maximum, I get stopped out at $2,500, right? That's it. That's all I got to spend. So we agreed that the absolute kind of maximum per trade risk should be 10% of the drawdown. So $250 per trade is my maximum risk. And the reason why is because you give yourself, that gives you 10 consecutive bad trades before you lose the account, which is a very, very unlikely scenario. Again, you're thinking like negative scenarios. What happens if I do this? What happens if I do that? I actually use 7%. So my stops, and this is what you see me, I put stops at about $1.50 instead of $2.50. So $1.50 at 2,500, it gives me about 15 consecutive stop outs before I burn my my drawdown. Those are really good things to use as ratios on the prospect. Okay, so we've got, let's go. We're going to go off the charts for a second, and let's see. Bank of Canada held rates. Okay, let's see where we have the ISM. Sorry, where am I? This is Thursday, right? I want to go to, here we go. Here's the ISM services, 35 seconds left. I will call it out. Market looking for 59, 51, new orders 53, employment. The interesting thing to me is going to be employment. Employment was negative on services. Anything below 50 is contractionary. Let's see how it prints now. It should be a really interesting tell for us. A little bit weaker. New orders is better. Prices paid is lower. It's going to be positive for the market. I got to believe it's going to be positive for the market. Let's see how the market is trading. No, I'm wrong. Well, that's interesting. I wonder why. Big dump on the, interesting. Why? Huh. Services actual 53. Oh, I guess they're thinking it's hotter. I think so. I thought that, I guess, see, okay, so why is this sort of negative initial reaction, which I think is actually going to be a positive overall reaction? I'm going to watch this. I'm going to watch this trade here for a little bit on the S&P. So we dropped all the way to 4, came back really, really hard. That suggests to me that it might want to go higher. I'm going to watch the price action. If this candle can kind of close above the 8-period SMA, I'll take it. If it doesn't, we're going to just let it go. I think the market is, I think, reacting negatively because this suggests that the Fed may not cut rates, right? But on the other hand, it's showing that the economy is still very buoyant, and that's a better result for the market because it means earnings are still going to be doing well. So I'm just going to watch this thing. This is, again, I'm just not a setup for me. It's just a news reaction. If I can recapture the 8 SMA on this, I think it will go higher. So I'm going to wait patiently, see if my thesis of a recovery holds true. And if it doesn't, then obviously I don't trade because I have an opinion, but I need the price action to confirm my opinion. And so far it's starting to confirm my opinion, but not quite there. Not quite. Can't quite pull it up. All right, I'm gonna pull the trigger just for fun here on the fact that I think it's kind of recovering on this 612. Let's see if I'm right. I'm anticipating the trade. I really would love to see the green candle before I trade it. Could be a fake out, but again, small position for me, so I don't really care. No, not gonna work. Let's see. This is a good example of where you want to be patient, which I have zero patience for, in terms of listening to your own signals. Like, it's still not above the 8 SMA. It still hasn't recaptured positive territory. So why am I long? Because I thought it was. And this is a very good example of where you want the candle to complete before you participate. So now I eat the trade. Tiny little trade. Thank God that it's not it's not a big trade for me. It may take a few more candles for us to actually recapture. Maybe it actually even takes one. If I just have enough patience, to have one, we'll see if it does recover. Kind of interestingly enough, though, when I'm looking at the MNQ, still that hasn't recovered either. I like to trade the S&P because that's sort of like the best, the most liquid index. So if they truly are going to buy this on a recovery, it's worth it there. If they're not, then there's nothing for me to do. All right, the market so far not feeling the data and selling off a little bit. Interesting question is going to be like, this is the spike low, right? My friend Jimmy Jude, who used to be a big pit trader in the old days, used to always say, if it prints there, it tests there. So he has this thesis that if something, has a wick, they're going to come back and test that wick, which very well may be true. That we could have more of a downtrend here to the downside. So we'll wait patiently, see what sets up for us. How's gold trading? Gold is not reacting at all. Gold is really losing its luster at this point. NASDAQ looks, I was going to say the strongest, but it really doesn't. Dow looks the weakest. Wait, did I see the what did I see going green here in the corner of my eye? Let's get NASDAQ is going green. We're going to take NASDAQ as our green signal here. I'm NASDAQ. Let's see if that works, because at least that that's a confirmation of my thesis. Now remember, the thing with NASDAQ, as I said, it's very, very spiky, and I should give my I'm not getting too tight a trade. I should have made this a 20-10 trade. I made it a 10-5 trade. Just did not work. Okay, so no harm, no foul as a news trade. And look, even the S&P trade not really working. So there's very little. It seems like a lot of indecision in the marketplace as far as the reaction to this. However, I will set myself up here because I think I'm going to watch this carefully. Because I think if it comes back again a second time around the green, that's probably going to be a decent signal for us that it's going to rally. I'm also going to watch the NASDAQ to the upside here. We'll see. A lot of indecision here at the top. Market really not loving the print, and it may be that this is it. This is all the buyers have, and then we're going to go all the way to the downside. So I'm going to let it. I'm going to watch it. Let it watch. I'm not going to try to anticipate this. It looks like it might be Jimmy's call that we come back to the 305s, 306s here to the downside. I was thinking about shorting the Dow off the sell signal, but I hesitated just for a second, and that probably would have been. Remember, I said you want to short the weakest. That would have been the best trade. If we took 77, that would have easily gotten us the trade that we wanted. All right, nothing going on so far here. Very, very quiet price action. See if there's any comments. Possible negative surprises, intrinsically, extrinsically, internally, externally. Oh, good. I'm glad you like it, Nacho. I don't trade the recapture of the 8 SMA anymore. Well, not for this. The classic setup. The classic setup that we're trying to do is change of trend, next buy signal. All of this bullshit that I'm doing with you is just me trading post news, trying to see if I could, have the technicals confirm my fundamental thesis. But right now, literally, news comes out. We don't have, the reaction to it has just been very, very lackluster, right? Now, remember what I said to you is they want to test the lows. So obviously YM has already tested that wick low. The S&P has come down over here, hasn't really tested. I'll see if the S&P wants to recapture the 8 SMA. If it does with a green candle, I'll go long this thing. I'll give it another shot, and I'll set myself up for it. Again, these are not my my real, my real setups, because we have had no switch of trend here for a long time, and there's nothing to do here. But honestly, market really not happy. Not there is no buyers here. It's just all sellers, and it looks like they are going to test the lows. I should have taken Jimmy's setup and just shorted this to the bottom, but that's just not my setup. So of course, like the secondary ways to trade all of this in terms of continuity is you can take the the candles until they stop working. And today, like you can see that the continuity trade in the Dow was really pretty good from like 945 after the weakness in the uh, S&P. You could have shorted this, the next sell, the next sell. You know, if you kind of say, I'm going to trade this whole segment for the next hour, you can do quite well. As long as you find yourself in that, in that continuity hour. The key thing is to find the continuity hour. And you can do that as a setup. And maybe next week, I'll show you how we can trade that as well. You see how much more problematic it is with NASDAQ, where it's very, very jumpy and where you really need larger stops and targets to make it work. So if you got long here, it's a 10 target, 20 stop over here, 10 target, 20 stop over here. And this one, it just peters out at the last segment. Actually, watching NASDAQ, I was going to say, it's teasing us. It's trying to come back to the SMA. How's the S&P? They're all just trying to base themselves a little bit here, but not much. Now, another thing that we used to love to do in my room, just again for shits and giggles, is the higher lows underneath the moving average. So if you another way you can kind of scalp this is this candle has a higher low than this one. It's underneath the moving average, and it's it looks like it wants to fly towards the moving average. It's an early turn trade, right? It's kind of an early turn trade that you may want to take. Not a bad setup. Sometimes it's a complete fake out. For example, here's it was an early turn here, complete fake out, flush down. But usually after the first flush down, you generally get unless the market is super negative. Okay, we're going to give it a shot. I'm going to get long here. For shits and just as a turn trade. This is again higher low on the assumption that we're going to try and recapture the 8 SMA, get in a little bit early, and maybe run this trade through here. For target. Let's see if it works. My target is 5, and there it is, and it worked. And that's what I mean about being flexible enough to try all these different ideas. I don't have my classic setup right now. I have a whole bunch of tiny little setups that I keep in the back of my mind. When I have the opportunity, I can jump on it. I felt this was a pretty good opportunity because we had puked down. We puked down twice. We were very close to Jimmy's touch point, and here you had a classic setup of a higher low, and a lot of times it's like a fish to water. They like to magnetize over the moving average. Now it's just now actually this also would have been a good signal. Like in other words, now that it's recaptured the moving average and held it, you could take this long, and it's probably going to start to rebuild a tiny little base. Does this mean that it's a turn trade? No, but it's the beginning of a turn trade, and you can capture those beginning of turn trades quite well, for the trade. So today was one of those kind of days where the news event really hasn't didn't create any kind of a clear move. The initial sell-off may be starting to turn. One of the interesting things is we may see a turn back to buy regime in the next half hour. And this is what I'm talking about. Like right now, between 10:15, unfortunately I got to go, but between 10:15 and 12 noon, you're probably going to get the most fertile amount of opportunities. Because if this thing does turn, it's going to be some really good turn trades to the upside. If this thing pukes back down to being a sell trade, you'll have more sell trades to the downside. But staying flexible, staying small, and then just jumping on the opportunity, I started the day at 300. I'm at 400. It's not a pretty day, but it's a good day for us because I took the one trade that actually I had a lot of confidence in. And that's what I mean about, you're doing tiny little trades as you're doing the probative trades, or you're just doing, shits for giggle trades where I'm just showing you setups. Maybe you're showing yourself setups, you may have an idea. Oh, I've seen this pattern. I want to see if I can trade it and this is the other thing I was going to say to you. You'll never know if a trade works, even if it's the greatest pattern in the world, unless you do it yourself. Like, it's not real until you do it yourself. That's the key thing that I try to teach everybody in my room is don't be, if you trade small, then you're not afraid to try out a lot of different things. I'm a huge believer in being very, very flexible and creative in small ways so that you can just be big and confident when you get the right ways. So anyways, any final questions, guys? Let me see. Do you share the rules? Yeah, I do. We do share the rules in Pass the Prop. Yes, we do share the rules. And more importantly, in Pass the Prop, you get to trade with me every single day. As I said, the best way to learn the rules is to do the rules, is to do the trades, and then create your own rules. Because a lot of people, what they do is they take my setups and they modify them for their own personality or their own style of trading or their own instrument. There's guys in my room who do nothing but trade gold. They just trade gold with this thing, And I think they've passed like already seven or eight prop accounts on gold alone. So it's really not about me. It's about you. My job is to be the coach, to get you mentally ready, to get you technologically ready, to show you the technology, make sure you have the right technology, and then to show you the variety of setups that make sense for the market, out of which you then pick out ones that make sense for you. You see how, by the way, the buy signal over here. So we took the early pre-buy signal. But if you took the buy signal over here as well, would have worked. Nice, clean trade straight up. That's just a good example of this multitude of setups that you have. Remember, if you're day trading, there's only 4 or 5 good trades you need to make in a day to have a good day. If you have an arsenal of tricks, there's almost no market environment in which you can't succeed. If there's no continuity of trending, you can do a little bit of mean reversion setups, to make the time go faster. So anyways, I'm going to leave you guys with the links to Apex for those of you right now. As I said, the great thing about experimentation, it's cheap, right? So you buy 10 Apex accounts, you harvest them. You basically inventory them. Oh, hang on a second. Hang on a second. I'm trying to copy this. You harvest them, you keep them there, and then you can just trade a whole bunch of different strategies that make sense to you. A lot of people I know just basically, it's like $16 for $250,000 account is ridiculous. Can you please, I don't know what this word means, Bose and Coach. What is my strategies on the 50K PA Apex account? So same kind of thing as you see me doing on the this is my prop account. I'm glad you're asking me this. I don't trade breakup structure. I consider ICT biggest bullshit stuff created by millennials who basically reinvented general price action. Okay, double tops, double bottoms. There's no such thing as breakup structure. Okay, there's no structure to the market. There's no, the market is a whole bunch of people doing a whole bunch of things in a completely unpredictable manner all the time. Your job is trying to create some semblance of modest order and be flexible in your approaches and just choose the ideas that work 51% of the time. Okay. So anybody who starts talking to me about structure or ICT, I will laugh in your face. Okay. There isn't a single ICT trader whose account I've actually seen pass the prop. They're very, very good at telling you how much money they've made. The guy himself, apparently traded like $1 million account into zero 100 different times. I don't want to get into this, this whole discussion of ICT because I just despise the whole concept. There's nothing new under it. It's describing a double top and a double bottom in an incredibly convoluted way. There's nothing complex about prices. They either go up above the moving average or they go below the moving average. They either trend up or they mean revert. So there's only two trades you're ever going to make, depending on what kind of a market structure you're in. If you're in range, you're going to be very successful selling the top and buying the bottom. If you're in a continuity, which is just it's fancy word for trend extension, you're going to be very good going with a direction of the continuity trade. So like this is a continuity slice. If you just hit all the cells, you made money with your eyes closed. You don't need anything else but just simply sell. The problem is that it's not obvious when there's continuity and when there's chop, which is why I talk about the highest probability hours for continuity are 10 to 12, 6 to 8, 1300 to 1500. Obviously, the highest probability hours for chop are the other hours. Martin is cracking up. Yes, because as you can see, I trade for real. I trade for real every freaking day, 1,000 days in a row. Everybody in my room trades for real. Everybody in my room gets real accounts, real money, real payouts. Okay, I don't hide. You see me getting stopped out. You see me getting, making stupid mistakes. You see me making, sometimes lucky wins, sometimes unlucky wins. I don't hide because I trade for real. This is the whole point. If you want real trading, not bullshit trading, not like, oh, I marked up a chart from yesterday to show you how smart I was in the past. I want to show you how stupid I am in the future, because the less stupid I am in the future, the more profitable I am. It's not about being smart in the past. It's about being modestly less stupid than the next guy in the future that wins in trading. Okay. Fortunately, I was a little bit less stupid than the next guy today, and we won in trading. So that's my final message to you guys. Yes, I will see everybody Friday. Very, very psyched for the non-farm payrolls. Let's hope we get a little bit of price action there. I'll hang with you because Friday, it's I have open day, so maybe we'll hang all the way till 11. We'll see. We trade at 10 to 11 hour, which will be really good for the non-farm payrolls. I think. See what we can do there. Otherwise, everybody have a wonderful, wonderful day. You want to join me for coaching? The link is there. You want to join? Actually, let me put the coaching link again one more time. Here we go. Join me there. Any questions? Come. Just email us. I will see everybody on Friday. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. So much fun as always. Take care.